Welcome to Corrective Consciousness episode 250, the podcast where we have gone a long time here. 250 episodes.
It's a quarter of a century, because 250 is 1/4 of... It can only be measured in years. That's how it works. It's a century. Oh. We have a quarter of a century's worth of podcasts.
Century is 100.
Yep.
What? Not 1,000.
Well, no, because you could tell, because Dracologist is with us, spoilers, and DRC are the Roman numerals for 250. The
C
is 100.
Not. They are not.
Is D even a Roman numeral?
No.
Do
Neither
not.
does R.
Or R?
Yeah, don't listen to Ondor's lies.
Bosch lives.
This is a falsehood. We were going to have a celebration of lots of work and painstaking recording sessions, but
it's
Lotus,
$0.25.
Lotus, one of the founding members and permanent hosts of the show, is now going to
be
out of a podcasting job.
What a way to go.
250's all I do, Vise. All I do.
I clearly specified in our contract that I signed in triplicate.
Contract. You can have all the rights you want to this podcast that only bleeds money. I'm your host, Vysethebold, and this is
Lotus, Math, and Roman numeral Prince.
And this is Dracologist. And I don't
Aren't you glad you're here?
A Dracologist who chooses not to horribly embarrass himself.
But this is a wonderful milestone. I mean, we have to at least acknowledge 250 is quite a long time. I mean, how many years have we been doing this, Lotus? 5 years now?
Something like that. And, like, you can't just say... Well, no, I guess you could for CC. For RC, it'd be a bit different. I was going to say,
sure.
You can't just count the weeks, but for CC, you actually could.
CC, you could, because we've never missed a week. So,
yeah.
We've always put out content every single week. So
it's like maybe just under 5 years, because 52 weeks in a year, so 52 times 5 is just above 250.
Yeah, I'll give it 5. I mean, we started this even before I met my wife, which is like insane when you think about it. Like I was recording this out of my parents' basement, and now I own my own home with a wife. It's just craziness when you think of how much has happened in the last 5 years for me. Lotus it's still exactly where we found him.
I'm still in a I don't know. I'm trying to think
of
enclave. Like a situation. I'm still like underground with a long cable.
a bunker.
Yeah, like I have like an extremely long, like couple of mile long extension cable hooked up to my public library, and I am in an actual cave.
Lotus had heard a loud bang outside, which actually was just a transformer explosion, but he ran below just in case.
Well, that actually happened to me in real life. One of the podcasts that we recorded like a few months ago, when all of a sudden I disappeared in the middle of the call. Like that this was not made obvious when we uploaded the thing.
Obviously, yeah.
But when Vice was like, "What the hell?" and I was on my phone, like my power went out, I did hear a bang, and it was the transformer that blew.
Yeah, we had to record the next day, I think. We had to pick up where we left off.
Yeah, because I got my power back at like 2 a.m. or something.
Yeah. It's terrible when the transformer explodes.
Yeah, it's just like an explosion down the street. What the hell is that?
But luckily we don't have such problems yet tonight. And Dracologist, are you glad to be here on this auspicious occasion?
Yeah, it's okay. I guess.
I'll get back to that question.
I'll let you know once we've recorded if I had a good time or not.
We should have had Hackathon on too. We would have everybody here, all of our regulars here. But it gets a little crowded with 4 people, I think. But this is a cool occasion. Glad to be here. We want to thank all of our fans who've supported us throughout this whole time, giving us plenty of feedback, comments, and more than a few death threats. I need to get back to all of you.
We haven't got any of those.
No, we're not.
The worst we've gotten is like those bots that post very obviously like illegitimate links to whatever. Like and then I delete those as spam.
We don't have the popularity of Evangelion, so we can't get. We don't have fans that have been that mad.
What did you say, Dracologist?
I just noticed one of those bots on one of Lotus's videos. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, every time I upload a new video, like give it a 30 to 60 minutes. I'll see the bots. I'll wipe them out. Okay, now for back to your regularly scheduled programming.
I've noticed that the SoundCloud has a lot of stuff like that as well.
Really, even on SoundCloud.
Well, there's always somebody contacting me about like promoting the show. Like, I like your track. No, you don't. You haven't listened to it.
That's like on YouTube where like the second I upload like an hour-long video, I get some like great video. You don't know what the fuck I put up.
Yeah, but we have a lot of listeners. I mean, we've had 500 listens in the last week, which is really insane.
Hey.
Yeah. We had 380 listens on the 23rd, which is really a lot on Friday.
It's even more than 370.
Yeah, so I mean, we've been having a fair number. Our biggest demographics on SoundCloud are in America, and we have 18 Russian plays, which is kind of cool.
The American ones are my alternate accounts,
and we have some in Europe as well, which is pretty cool. Let me see if I could.
Yeah, can you think of even one European who might listen to our podcast? Dracologist, can you think of any?
Couldn't come across my mind. Why would they?
I got nothing.
They got better things to do.
I don't know any Canadians either. We have some in Helsinki, which is pretty cool. Huh. We had 21 lessons at Helsinki alone.
Hooray.
Like, what?
We're really cornering the Helsinki market.
Like 21 different people in Helsinki, or maybe they just like listen to like several tracks.
I was gonna say it's one or two families that talk to each other.
No, they listen to several of our back tracks or whatever. You know, somebody in Finland, maybe the guy who did our theme for a bit, Eco Garden or what
Eco Garden.
Yeah. Maybe it's him.
For just a second, I seriously thought you were like unironically like missing Dracologist. I'm like,
no, he's our other theme composer, obviously.
Dracologist, you're from Finland, right? Like, oh god.
But yeah, this is awesome. This is awesome. But
it's like strike two of embarrassing myself.
If you can't tell, we don't have a whole lot of content. We're just meandering.
Well, I mean, the irony here is that we had so much from last week that we're still going with it. We'll get there, I promise.
This is good that we actually have Dracologist here because we would need his help here because we actually have a fair amount of really good action movies that we've been talking about, and this is just a part 2 of this. And you could of course keep going on and on and on about this, but I wanted to bring up one of my favorites from, and I feel it's kind of underrated, just because of the similarity in, I guess, themes to The Matrix that it had at the time, or maybe it was just bad timing. But did you guys ever see the Jet Li movie?
I actually did.
Blade, but yes,
I did.
Yeah,
I liked it all right. It's not my favorite movie, but it's fun and conceptually it's very interesting.
Concept.
And it also has I'm assuming pre-famous Jason Statham because he's very understated in that movie. He's just a guy.
Yeah, he's just basically like one of the prison guys, right?
He's one of the. I know there's actually a movie called Time Cop. This is not it, but he's one of the time cops.
He's not like one of the
Dimension cops.
Like one of the vegan police
like there's two guys. Pilgrim. He's one of them. Yeah,
exactly. They're the buddy cops. But
Chicken Parm isn't vegan.
Yeah, I really thought that the one was a lot of fun. I just love the concept that he basically got to fight his like stunt double the whole time, and they had to like keep
Yeah, who's the only guy who could take on Jet Li? Another Jet Li.
exactly, and it's just pretty neat that they had to like keep filming everything from like two different angles.
Yeah, that had to have sucked.
Probably
But the concept of the one, for anyone who doesn't know, is quite interesting. There's the theory of like infinite parallel realities. Turns out that's not the case. There are exactly, what, 7 parallel realities?
There are a few, yeah.
Yeah, and Jet Li from one of the realities is a douchebag piece of shit criminal who escapes from Dimension Prison because his goal is to travel to the other parallel realities and kill his other selves because like there can be
It's
only
like
one.
Highlander rules, yeah. It was like Highlander
like with
rules.
each one you kill, you get stronger.
Yeah.
And like the catch though is that the other selves get stronger as well because there are fewer of them for them too. So when Jet Li finally encounters final Jet Li, they're both super powerful and like, oh, I hope good Jet Li can beat bad Jet Li, but like it's a clever idea.
I love the fact that I'm gonna spoil the end of this because like who cares? But like the
ending shot's fantastic.
The ending's the best part. So
to me,
oh, go ahead.
Before that, one of my scene that stuck with me was like when they're having a fist fight, but they're doing it so fast that like some sort of industrial part, like I think it was some sort of steel mill, and like sparks are flying everywhere, but the sparks are like just slowed down because they having such a fast fight.
That's so cool.
It gets it's like when Neo fights Morpheus in the dojo training simulator when he gets the super fast fists for a second, and you're like, what? It's like that, but the whole fight for the two Jet Lis.
So good Jet Li prevails, but of course since he's good Jet Li, he doesn't kill bad Jet Li. So they just the Dimension cops arrest him and put him on a prison planet.
Like Hell Planet, whatever.
Like a Hell Planet. And they put him on like the top of a ziggurat and they're like, okay, have at him. So the ending is bad Jet Li, like all powered up from killing everybody but good Jet Li, taking on the entire planet of like prison people.
Yeah, you just see these waves of people climbing this pyramid, and he's like, whatever, fuck it, I'll be the king of this place then. I'll take you all on. He's just booting them all off. And
he's the king of Australia. He's the king of Australia.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happens. Yeah, he's king of like old Australia. Yeah. Like, I'm sent to Hell Planet? Fine, fuck it, I'll become king of Hell Planet then. It's just like that one episode of the Justice League Unlimited, which it did not end quite as well. But when the villain was not the god, but the character, or not the Titan, but the character called Kronos, who had like time traveling technology, and he discovered a betrayer in his ranks, like a traitor, and he grabbed that guy and he like beams him out, and then he beams back to the present, and like you're like, what happened? And then it shows the thug that he teleported out, and he's just in the time of the dinosaurs. And he's just like, fuck, whatever. I'll be king of this place. I'll have my own establishment here before you even know it. And then the asteroid comes in. He's like, oh, okay. And it's the most like badass part of the whole show when the villain comes back and he talks to his other henchmen. Like, do any of you know what killed the dinosaurs? No. Well, Chucko does. You're like, oh shit, it's amazing.
Chucko.
Yeah, he was like a clown guy.
Well,
I don't know.
They were jokers.
Yeah, he was just painted up. Yeah.
Well, I just thought the concept of this movie is great. I mean, it's a really good like Twilight Zone episode. It doesn't need to be 2 hours long, but like
it's just fun schlock fighting, and the movie knows what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But it's fun, and the choreography is like really really good. So
one thing I remember, even though the special effect doesn't hold up so well, even at the time it looked a little awkward, was where he grabs a motorcycle in each hand.
Oh yeah,
and crushes his opponent between them. He's just like, poof, he just claps with the motorcycle.
That actually reminds me of the scene from one of the Hulk movies when he like wears his police car as a punching gloves. Every time he hits the bad guy, he's like making like a car honk sounds.
Nice.
Well, let me see here. I also have Ricky O in here because every
Riccio great.
Ricky O needs to be
Dracologist, you
talked
ever seen
about.
that? Like Riccio or the
I've seen
story
the
of Ricky?
animated. I've seen
Oh
the
no,
animated.
I
it's not
still
the same.
need to see the animated one.
It can't
I
be
had-
the same. This is just
Yeah,
I
the
don't
live
know
action.
where I saw it, but I did saw it. So
Yeah, the live action
both
movie
actually.
is
I seen both.
surprisingly accurate. You've seen
And
both for real? Yeah, because the live action version is surprisingly accurate to the manga. I have
I-
actually read the entire manga.
Is it worth it?
anyways, yes.
Well, I gotta talk. We gotta talk about it because like our audience probably doesn't. It is an admittedly.
It's a cult hit. It's not like obviously everyone would know this.
Yeah,
but like it has its audience.
It's also a Hong Kong movie that has an egregious amount of violence and viscera in it, which
by the way,
doesn't happen often.
Just to contextualize anyone in the audience, if any of our listeners have ever followed the fighting game tournament, the yearly one, Evo, when the tournament is over, because it's a week long, I think, they always play a video of this guy punching a hole, like just destroying an entire wall, this prison block, going, "You're all free." That's from Riccio.
But yeah, and this is known for like stuff like like the main character has to tie his tendons back together.
I was gonna mention that he got his tendons cut so he couldn't use his hand, and he literally ties them in a knot to make him work again, and that's how that works. And he's fine. Like he not only is he not missing an arm, he's back in fighting condition. It's a bunch of stupid bullshit. It's Fist of the North Star if it were more violent.
Somehow. Yeah, Ricky O, the Wall of Hell. I need to find this shit. Oh man.
Yeah,
I think the only thing that is worse than that would be, I think, violence, Jack.
I haven't seen that, but I heard that's like just traumatic to watch.
Yeah,
but with Riccio,
it's basically Devilman with the breaks off, and Devilman is already breaks off.
Oh, somebody uploaded this to YouTube. I am putting this on my list. Oh man,
which one?
The Riccio Wall of Hell. I need
to see that.
Putting that on my watch later.
The live action Riccio movie is basically the first arc of the manga where he gets sent to prison. And it's great, just the setup when Ricchio's entering the prison, because he's going through a metal detector. And what's funny is that, like, it doesn't detect his metal buckle on his belt. I don't know what the fuck that was all about. But he goes through the metal detector, and it beeps. And they're like, what's this? And so, like, he's got nothing on him. And they do, like, an x-ray thing on him, and they see he's been shot 5 times. He's got bullets in his body. And they're like, why are these still here? And Riccio just gives them this, like, badass look, and he's like, they're souvenirs. He's like, come on.
And later he flexes them out of his body and kills people with them.
Yeah, which does not happen in the manga, by the way, because they actually call back to those later, where the bullets are GNOSI, and someone shoots him with a 6th bullet with S for Gnosis, and it, like, drains him of his powers.
Oh,
and after he gets out of that situation, some master swordsman, like, cuts them out of his body with, like, he's so good at swordsmanship, like, his quick strikes extracted the bullets. You don't want to mess with this guy when he's trying to kill you. It's like, if you didn't think that Hokuto no Ken was absurd enough, because Hokuto no Ken is fucking dumb, and that's why it's so great, because it's like, it's just fun because of how over the top and dumb it is.
Yeah.
Riccio is if, like, imagine if Hokuto were, like, not accidentally comedic. Like, Riccio would be like, what if we made this intentionally absurd, even though Hokuto is already intentionally absurd?
Man, this movie has been on Turner Classic Movies. That's incredible. Yeah.
That's literally incredible.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Well, like, apparently they have, like, an underground cult film like programming block on Friday nights, which I did not know about, which I will be seeking out now, because they have, like, all kinds of, like 70s grindhouse shit in there, like, you know,
wow.
like all the kinds of stuff that you would want to watch, like from Dolomite to whatever. So
I'd watch that again.
yeah, no, I am definitely going to see whether they're still running this programming block. But I just had to point this out because if you ever want to watch a movie just with like pandemonium going on in it and like illogic, like
it's bullshit and it doesn't care. Like, it knows that it's just fucking dumb and it doesn't care. Which
yeah,
is great.
And in the same breath, I have to mention the Street Fighter with Sonny Chiba. Have you ever seen that?
I've never seen anything Sonny Chiba, but I know that his movies are like, what if Jackie Chan's movies were just brutally violent?
Yeah, so Sonny Chiba is best known as Hattori Hanzo in the Kill Bill films.
Well, best known to us.
Best known to Americans. But he was a huge karate film star, not a kung fu star.
Yeah, he's a straight up badass.
He's a karate film star from the 70s. And basically what the kind of stuff that Quentin Tarantino grew up on, and then hence why he has him in the movie.
I forgot that was him, actually.
Yeah, and because he looks so good for being his age.
Very good.
Very good. Yeah. You need Japanese steel. But yeah.
I just love when he starts ranting in Japanese, like, if you were a general, then I'd be the emperor, and you'd still be the one collecting the tea.
The comedy duo like banter that he has with his assistant is just amazing.
It's fantastic.
But he was most famously in a series of films called The Street Fighter, nothing to do with the video game franchise.
It's like Takashi Miike's Dead or Alive. The similarity to the video game title is pure coincidence.
Yeah, in fact, maybe like Street Fighter might be named after it, if anything.
Yeah,
anything, because these were famous movies, especially in Japan. But there were like a trio of them or 4 of them, something like that, and then there was a spin-off entire series called Sister Street Fighter where it was about his sister. And he was in those as well. So I think there's like a total of like 8 Street Fighter movies. The Street Fighter movies, yeah, something like that. And they're all out on Blu-ray in America now.
Jesus. I was gonna say, even America's schlock horror franchises don't hit 8, with very few exceptions, like Friday the 13th.
Yeah. So I think Shout Factory put out the Street Fighter ones, and then Sister Street Fighter Collection is put out by somebody similar. Not quite Criterion, but like another curation house, kind of like that. But yeah, I have to mention them because they're really fun, and you normally don't see in terms of martial arts films from the 70s. You usually see kung fu stuff from out of Hong Kong. That's like the most typical stuff. You see a lot of Jackie Chan stuff and other stuff that followed it, right? But you never really. The most popular Japanese stuff of this time was generally like Godzilla stuff. So, like to see a martial arts film from Japan was on the rarer side, and the Street Fighter was the most popular of those to come over here. And I really recommend them because, first of all, he's a complete badass. He's more of an anti-hero than anything. He's just like, does whatever the fuck he wants, even the cops. And there is a particular scene that is pretty groundbreaking, and hence inspired like the modern Mortal Kombat X-ray shots. Yeah. So there is a particular...
The first time I ever saw that was in Of All Things in the World, Romeo Must Die.
No, this is the first time I think ever he basically brains a guy in the head, and then it cuts to an X-ray of the guy's skull just getting crushed in.
Oh shit!
And then it cuts back to the live action, and he's just like bleeding out of his face.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's that is not even the worst thing that happens to a bad guy in that film, and it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy
by the way,
it.
Can I just mention, I kind of forgot that Romeo Must Die existed until you mentioned the X-ray thing. I saw that in theaters, but
another Jet Li movie, yeah.
It is, but like, yeah, my go-to, like, what action movies have you seen? Like, Romeo Must Die doesn't really come up, but that X-ray stuff was pretty sweet in that movie, I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, that I think that style originated in that movie in particular. So
That's
I'm
nuts.
gonna say something weird, but the only thing I remember that was sort of open quotes X-ray like was in the Clive Barker movie Illusionist.
You know,
yeah,
it's a shame. I don't think I've seen Clive Barker movies except for Hellraiser 1 and 2, which were amazing, and 3, which was
Illusionist is a pretty good one. It's a one-off thing, but it's a good setting, if I have to say.
the
Huh.
the Sister Street Fighter collection is put out by Arrow Video, which has been doing God's work and putting out like a lot of really cool import movies lately. They put out the like the prototypical like Yakuza movie. It's like Battles Without Honor or Humanity, I think is what it's called.
Why does that sound familiar? That
Because
sounds
it is
very
the
familiar.
the also the name of the
That's like a song.
the song in Kill Bill, which
Oh, there you go. Yeah, the big theme, that dun dun dun. Is
yeah,
that one?
exactly. That actually comes from the reboot of that movie series.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Quentin Tarantino was of course has been watching like all of cinema. He just watches everything constantly, even if it's obscure. And he
Yeah.
this Battles Without Honor or Humanity has been a long running series in Japan. Basically chronicling like based off of real Yakuza stories. And like the original one is like basically like The Godfather over in Japan, like in terms of its
Yeah.
like impact on cinema. And genre. So like there's even a Katashi Miike talks about it, and they interviewed him for the Blu-ray for that movie as well, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
But yeah, there's lots of really cool Japanese stuff that I could go into, but I just wanted to mention that while we were at it. We can also talk about Kill Bill, which I saw both of them in the theater. I don't know about you guys, but it's
Never
fucking
saw
great.
any.
You didn't see them? Oh, that's a
I
shame.
don't think
I
Yes?
Now, I was going to say, I'm not 100% about the first movie. I might have seen that. I'm not. I don't even remember if I saw the first movie in the theater, but I definitely saw the second one in the theater.
Yeah, I mean, Quentin Tarantino doesn't usually do action movies, but this was his take on action movies,
shit.
and God was it great. I love them.
Well, his movies have action in them,
Yeah.
but like, yeah, it's usually more of like, well, I don't know, like Reservoir Dogs is more of like, you know, badass gangsters, and like same with Pulp Fiction. There's
Yeah.
action in that, but like, it's more of talking and being badass. Like the Grindhouse stuff was more. Well, Planet Terror was more action oriented.
Yeah.
Death Proof, I don't know if I go that far.
Nah. I would say, you know, there are action scenes in Inglourious Bastards. There's like, you know, some action scenes
A little.
in Django. But by and large, his
These are more
movies
character movies.
are about dialogue and character development. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Kill Bill is straight up like I was gonna mention Game of Death, fighting her way through bosses, but she wears the Game of Death costume.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, literally, Game of Death references. I actually love movies that are set up like video games. Like they have like a series of bosses to get through.
Yeah, the Raid we already talked about last week. Kill Bill itself, like she literally has a checklist of bad guys she needs to take down.
I would say that probably El Topo was the originator of that kind of thing. But it's like I can't think of an earlier example of something like that where you know they just you have to defeat one more colorful bad guy after the next to get to the goal.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of would probably also be, and I can't even give you a specific name, but I would mention some kind of Western or something like.
I can't
this is
even
the
think of a
gang
Western
you need
like
to
that.
Take down, yeah.
I can't think of a Western like that because
Yeah, there's always a big bad, but I can't think of like you have to go through his ranks to
Yeah,
work your way up to him.
most Westerns, and I know Westerns really well. Most Westerns are revenge stories, so it's usually like, hey, I'm going to kill this guy, and maybe I have to get through his mooks
Well,
first, but
maybe revenge, like some are revenge stories, but some are like protecting the town type.
That's true.
Yeah, but this is
But even so, it's like a bunch of
colorful
assholes, but the one
individuals.
guy with a name, yeah.
Colorful individuals until you get to an overall bad
Yeah,
guy.
I don't know if this necessarily counts. I wouldn't call this a video game movie because it doesn't work the same way. But The Quick and the Dead, they have
Okay.
multiple characters
All right.
you can
Oh,
remember,
But
but
that's
it's not
later.
really a
That's-
video game style movie.
is
Yeah,
that-
but that's
is
later. That's in the
That is
90s.
Uh,
The Quick and the
You can
Dead's
call
in
it
the
what you're
90s.
I'm thinking like, is it like I only know maybe it's by the Hungarian title, and I don't sure. Is that with the girl, the gunslinger girl?
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Sharon
where the
Stone.
whole movie is duels.
Yeah,
Okay,
I actually.
okay, that's the one I think was thinking of.
Yeah, with Gene Hackman as the bad guy.
Yeah, and Russell
yeah,
Crowe's
yeah.
in it, and Leonardo DiCaprio as a kid is in it. Like there's
And he's charismatic even in that movie.
yeah, that movie is underrated. It's a Sam Raimi movie of all things.
Yeah.
Of all people to make a movie like
Gene
that.
Hackman's a real piece of shit in that movie.
Yeah, Gene Hackman's a great bad guy, and he might
Yeah.
be the one of the best versions of that bad guy in that movie, if you ask me.
It's funny because he was known earlier on for playing Lex Luthor, who's one of the more iconic bad guys ever, but he played like a hammy, campy Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
But like in The Quick and the Dead, he is a dirtbag.
He's just a bastard in that movie. Yeah.
Also Leonardo DiCaprio's father in that movie.
Well, he's also the big bad in Unforgiven, which is one of the most famous westerns of all time as well. And he's a bastard in that, but not nearly as much of one.
Yeah, like he enjoys being a bastard in The Quick and the Dead. He's
Yeah.
just like, haha, I'm the bad guy. Like he's that kind of villain.
Yeah. No, that's a good action movie to bring up because I had forgotten about that. She is going through the entire duel, and each character has a unique personality for sure.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, she's not working her way... I mean, she's incidentally working her way up to Gene Hackman, but they're not all his underlings. They're just various people who want to win duels for money.
Yeah, it's almost like...
In fact, one of them actually wanted Gene Hackman dead.
Yeah,
she happened not to fight that guy.
It's almost like the Afro Samurai kind of thing where you have to get to whoever's winning the tournament at the time.
That's a video game.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a
number
cartoon,
two.
but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If we will probably have to do a like an anime kind of focused one at this point, or an action.
Oh, that
anime.
will go for a long time.
Yeah,
Well,
but
you could break it down by genre.
Yeah,
'cause if you just
yeah.
say anime, that's like saying we're gonna have a discussion about live action. It's like that's everything.
no, but I would probably have one like an action like OVA.
Yeah, exactly.
kinda
What's your favorite
discussion.
mystery anime, or what's your favorite space anime? I don't know.
Yeah, and Afro Samurai would be way up there for me. Both of them.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, I love both parts.
I only see the game, sadly, but
Oh,
I still need to play the game, although the second one's apparently
apparently
trash.
the first game apparently was not fun for some people. It was a bit repetitive,
repetitive.
but the
yeah.
dialogue
Yeah,
was
I
alright.
didn't I didn't expect anything brilliant from the first game, but like
It's
if
better
it's
than the second
okay,
one.
then I'll take it. But I heard the second one was just abominable.
Yeah, no, it's not good. The voice acting, you at least have the voice acting in the first one.
You still
Yeah,
have
I love
Sam Jackson as Ninja
Samuel
Ninja
Jackson as
and
Ninja
Afro
Ninja.
Samurai.
Yep. We should also mention the glorious work of man, I just lost it. Who was the
Oh, I
guy who
hate
made
that.
RoboCop and Starship Troopers?
Oh, yeah, Paul Verhoeven.
Paul Verhoeven and
It's not on the list.
Total
but
Recall.
Total Recall.
Yeah, Total Recall. So, I
Total
love
Recall's
Paul
alright.
Verhoeven's movies. Those three movies are some of the best action movies of all time.
And well, not only that, but Paul Verhoeven's MO is being pretty heavily satirical.
Oh yeah,
So like Starship Troopers, the whole thing is satire about like
propaganda.
how the people you're following are like fascists, and they have heavy-handed propaganda in their movie, but you can argue that the movie itself is fascist propaganda because like you're supporting these characters and like look at how easily we can get into your head, and you're supporting these piece of shit characters. Their personalities seem decent enough, but look at what they're doing, and that's like the entire movie.
Apparently, what I follow a guy named Critical Drinker. I recommend the reviews, It's a bit on a funny side, but he actually makes you good pointers. And he
Mhm.
said that apparently Verhoeven deliberately hired like young actors who were a little bit awkward on the
Oh yeah,
screen.
look at the main guy. Look at Casper Van Dien. The main guy is just like, "Hi, I'm main character man," and he just like he looks kind of like vapid
He's very,
through the
very
first
handsome.
2/3 of the movie.
Very handsome. Yeah.
He's very pretty boy, but like this is something I wouldn't have thought of, but Red Leader Media brought this up. But also, a lot of the movie is filmed the way you would film like a TV show with like flat lighting and stuff
Yeah,
like that
it is,
to give it that,
especially on
to give
Earth.
it that vibe.
Especially on Earth. Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah, especially on Earth. Yeah.
even on, you're right. There's no shadows or anything. It looks like Star Trek or
Yeah,
or
so
something.
like you're on the set of like Friends or something.
Yeah.
Like and that's apparently that was done intentionally. And yet you have these like vapid, pretty like I'm the main character of that show you like. Who wants my autograph? Like kind of like actors, and that's genius.
Yeah, I love that movie. That movie is great. But I also really love the first two RoboCop movies. Actually, I think the second one doesn't get enough.
Yeah, the second one
Doesn't
is
get enough.
surprisingly good considering it's a different director, but it's still because Starship Troopers 2 did not capture the vibe of Starship Troopers 1.
No,
I
it
think
basically becomes like softcore, like kind of movies. You know, they're just like
they missed the point. It's just like, why did you like the first movie? Because it was cool guns against bugs. It's like it missed the point. But RoboCop 2, like
Yeah,
felt
that
like
was
it
pretty
could have
decent.
been.
Like it built on the first one,
Which Starship Troopers or RoboCop?
RoboCop, obviously.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, RoboCop 2 feels like it still captures the vibe. Like it did a great job.
they have that like little kid mastermind, like evil
Yeah.
mastermind. It's so funny.
When I first
Yeah,
saw the movie, I
the
was like,
safe railgun.
really, like the kid, like a little kid's gonna be a bad actor, but like he does a good job though.
Written by Frank Miller of all people.
Well, no, I heard that there was a script written by Frank Miller, but like he didn't actually do RoboCop 2 though, did he?
It got mostly rewritten, but the skeleton
it was
of
just
it was
like
there.
technically you could say he played a part in it, kind of, but like not
You
really.
can actually say he played a part in it because he's in the movie.
Yeah, that is kind of funny. He played a part in it, yeah. But like there is a comic adaptation of what Frank Miller's script would have been, and it's
Yeah.
like an entirely different story.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's called Frank Miller's RoboCop.
yeah, they took the beats from it, I think,
Yeah.
and then built something new. But I really like the satirical look at things and like how it's all about like corporate greed and how the corporations basically own the cops.
And that's the same thing. Like you watch RoboCop, you're like, that's a fun shooty movie. It's like, well, no, the point of the movie is what you just said. Like corporations are like the evilest things that there are.
Consumerism, corporations, political abuse of powers.
Yeah,
It's pretty
exactly.
obvious.
yeah. It's heavy handed, but like when you're watching it as a kid, you're like, oh, I like the Robot Man. Yeah.
I don't want to be big mouth, but I kind of understood what they wanted to say, even if it was kind of satirized and obvious. But
Well, yeah, some parts are more heavy handed, but like it's also just like a fun action movie. But yeah, like again, Paul Verhoeven's MO was like, but did you catch the real meaning of the movie? Which is it's great. Like the
Gentrification.
they're just straight up hiring shit, I forgot his name, Clarence, like Red Foreman. He was like officially hired by the bad guys, and he's like a street thug.
Bitches leave.
Bitches leave. Can you fly,
Kurtwood Smith.
Bobby?
Kurtwood Smith. Yeah,
Kurtwood Smith. Wow, what a freaking hero.
yeah. I
Like,
love that guy.
I even though I saw RoboCop before that '70s show, I know him more as the dad on that '70s show.
Yeah.
But he just kills it in RoboCop.
I mean,
he's so good.
he's great as the dad. That's it.
He's brilliant
Yeah.
on that '70s show. Like Mister, I'm sick of this shit, Dad.
I'm gonna
But he's
stick my
such a-
foot up
he's-
your ass.
Foot straight up your ass. But he's such a good, like scumbag villain though.
Oh
He's
yeah,
great.
yeah. I bitches leave. Oh, love it. And
That is. I don't know if they knew that line would be iconic, but like, it just kind of was. Just walks into a room, bitches leave,
And they
Like,
do.
what?
they do.
It's a good. Yeah, they got an out. It's a good thing they did.
And
Get out
then
of the movie. Good for them.
we could also talk about Total Recall, which is like really iconic. Just like its practical effects are some of the best of the 80s. The money really shows up on that movie.
Even the dated CG still looks kind of good in its own way. When, like, you know what was really cool? It was so cool that Dino Crisis 1 reused it. When Arnold Schwarzenegger walks behind the X-ray machine, you see his skeleton, you know, and then turns and fires at the camera.
Yeah.
But, like, in Dino Crisis, they did that. Like, I think your gun glowed or something, but you were a skeleton behind that thing. That was great.
I still really love the like, whatever work they did to transform from that woman to Arnold.
Yes,
is like one of the best. Is one of the best like practical effects that I've ever seen.
Yes, that was fantastic.
It's still really good.
2 weeks.
It's so much good. It's so much fun, and just like all the puppetry that you have later on, you know, with the mutants and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and the explodey face people. You know, like the explodey face puppets.
I love the cab driver guy. Like, man, I gotta do all this stuff with 7 kids to feed. I thought you said you had 8 kids to feed. You got me, man. I ain't even married. that guy's the best.
Were you a Total Recall fan there?
No, I only see bits of the movie, so I'm afraid I didn't.
It's fun, but part of this is another thing that I did not think of until I saw it mentioned by someone else, I forgot who, on YouTube. But again, Paul Verhoeven with the satire, like part of the satire of the movie was casting Arnold Schwarzenegger as the main
normal
character,
guy, yeah.
Because the movie really fucks with you, and it's not standard action movie, although Arnold tries his best, like, well, not the actor, but like his character tries his best to make it into a standard Arnold action movie, but there's all this weird shit happening that's messing with everyone's perceptions right from nearly the beginning of the movie. Like, that movie fucks with you real good. And then there's the question of whether the movie's ending is what it appears to be on camera.
I think that is definitively answered in the movie, actually.
Is it? I thought it was more very heavily implied.
So, at the end of the movie, you are left with the question of whether it was one of those vacation VR simulations or not, that the whole movie was taking place during. And at the very end of the credits, it makes like the ding sound of the VR simulation being over. So
I don't know if I ever waited till the end of the credits, but what I noticed was when it pans up to the sun, you know, they're kissing and it pans up to the beautiful sun.
Yeah.
It's very piercing. Like it's like a glare, like, but it's like in and out a glare, and it's implied that could potentially be like a surgical laser that's about to start a lobotomy.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, I think it's definitively answered by like that ding.
That would make sense. Well, because there's also the part where, remember that guy who was offering him the pill, and he's like, "This will take you out of this weird virtual simulation and wake you up." And Arnold's like, "If this is a virtual simulation, then the pill isn't real." And the guy's like, "Oh, but you're right. But it would be a symbol that your brain would understand." You know that whole part.
Yeah, sure.
Well, what he goes, you could take the pill now and wake up, or you can just be in this fantasy where whatever the fuck happens, and then as soon as Arnold shoots him, like the moment he does, the wall bursts open and enemies pop in, and it's like, you've mentally made your decision.
Yeah,
it's great.
I love that. I think that Arnold just had the best ones. I mean, there was a reason why he was,
action man.
Yeah, the action superstar of the '80s, because, like, you also had Stallone, but like his movies weren't nearly as iconic as like he worked.
Arnold first Rambo.
Cobra was alright.
All the Rambo movies are pretty good. The first 3. But
the first one's more impactful because of its message. Then they become just straight up action movies.
Yeah, they lose the plot of the original movie for sure. But I would say that they like the second one is a straight up action movie for sure. But like a lot of the Stallone movies, Cobra and all that shit, they're not nearly nearly as good as Arnold's from that era. I mean, you also have Predator, which is one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah,
I love.
I was going to mention Predator, like, regarding subversion of Arnold movies. This is not Verhoeven, but Predator was a subversion of 80s action movies. Like, the opening scene of the movie
is a regular 80s action movie.
Is the ending scene of Commando, yeah, where they're just blowing up nameless bad guys. Like, yeah, we're saving village from bad guys. But then, like, the entire rest of the movie, all of these fucking giant action stars, like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura are the main ones, they're getting picked off by a scarier monster. And it's like, how is Arnold the fucking underdog in his own movie? Like, I like, usually it's how is Arnold's gonna beat 1,000 guys, all of whom have guns. But in this, like, how you question whether Arnold can beat one bad guy in a fight, and you're like, that doesn't happen.
You also have Carl Weathers in there too.
Considerably bigger than That's right, Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
And the guy who plays the Predator is considerably bigger than Arnold as well. So you're just like, oh, like this is different.
Yeah.
And it becomes a horror movie. It's like a stalker movie, starring action movie stars that are getting picked off, like Friday the 13th. You're like, what the fuck happened? Like, that's amazing.
But it's established the lore of the Yautja very well, that they are hunting the most prized prey.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it. Like, they're hunting something, but not really. They're they think they are. They're the ones being hunted. It's great.
Yeah,
like the Predator hunts guys better than these guys for sport, and you're like, oh no.
And this series is actually pretty decent. So the second movie is pretty good. It
was way better than I thought it would be.
The second one for a long time I don't think was well respected, and now it is.
No Arnold, no jungle. I'm like, why are you even bothering? It's a good movie.
It's pretty good, and it also lengthens the mythology, like adds a lot to it.
It introduces the lore. It gives you the spinny blade disc they throw. It gives you the extendo spiky stick they wield. It connects to the Alien universe. It was more of an Easter egg, but then it became real.
Yeah, but I just like what they did with the concrete jungle kind of thing.
No, that's the PS2 game.
But yeah,
and the comic book.
And the third one is surprisingly good as well.
Predators.
Yeah, Predators. With Adrian
again, I was thinking.
I didn't hear too good things about that one, but
no, the Predator is bad.
The brand new one, the brand new one called The Predator apparently is not good.
It's the only bad
one. I don't even wanted to mention that, but I was talking about Predator 3.
Really?
No, I like that one quite a bit.
I like that one too.
On different planet where the whole planet's just a hunting ground. It wasn't bad. Again, like, I don't know if anything could top the first Predator, but like, third movie was pretty good, and it introduced a very different group dynamic, because in Predator 1, these guys all worked together, and it's like, how are they picking us off? In Predator 2, the guy's working by his fucking self. In Predator 3, you have a group, but nobody knows each other at first, nor do they know whether they should trust each other. But then they realize, oh, a fucking space alien is hunting us. Maybe we better work together, I guess. And you got to see a lot of cool moments in that movie.
Also, it's a Robert Rodriguez movie, who we owe a lot to in terms of action movies. I mean, the El Mariachi franchise is like one of my favorites. I love the El Mariachi movies. Desperado is like one of the like the early like 90s like hits, like action hits, and that movie's amazing, and that's the second mariachi movie, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico is a lot of fun too, so that's the third one.
They should make a fourth one called Happily Ever After in Mexico.
I don't think I think Antonio Banderas has better things to do these days. But
yeah, he got turned into an adorable kitty cat.
I was just gonna say, Puss in Boots. He has his own fragrance now. He doesn't need this. I bet you Salma Hayek might want to do it though. But wait, did she die in the third one? I think she died in the third one. So
oh geez, I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, Predators, I actually like quite a bit. I saw that in theaters, not knowing, like, we'll see if it's good. But I ended up liking it quite a bit.
Yeah, and you also have From Dusk Till Dawn from Robert Rodriguez as well. That's a
brilliant movie.
Yeah,
that's a brilliant.
Another movie that begins completely different from how it goes in the end.
Yeah, this one I'd rather not. This one I'd rather not spoil.
I don't know how it wouldn't be spoiled for anyone, and all the sequels are about the second half.
But still, it's just, like, the transition is so fun though. Oh, by the way, I will say, I'm not the biggest expert on this guy's filmography, but this is the only George Clooney movie I can think of where he's just stone cold piece of shit badass. I usually don't see him play that kind of role.
How about Batman
in
and
other
Robin?
movies. Hello, Freeze. I'm Batman. He was very polite. He was charming.
I can't think of anything where he's the bad guy.
But From Dusk Till Dawn has that iconic line. Like if you're thinking of running away, and he like pulls out his gun, I have 6 little friends, and they could all run faster than you can. It's like, oh shit.
No, this has a lot of good people in it. I mean, Quentin Tarantino is a character in this movie.
Yeah, he's scumbag brother in that movie.
Terrible.
They also have Cheech Marin as
like
Barker
3
in front of
characters,
Club.
3 different characters in that movie. I think
I remember him being one of the guys who meets up at the very end, like that George Clooney was trying to meet in the beginning.
Yeah.
And he's the Barker in front of the club. Well, what's the third role?
He's also one of the vampires.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
well,
Harvey Keitel's in it. Juliette Lewis, yeah, a lot of good people here. Salma Hayek's in this one as well. Jeez. So.
Oh, and Fred Williamson as well.
Yeah, no, this is a fun movie.
Don't mess with that guy.
I really
and
love that one.
This is gonna piss me off because I should know this guy's name. He's a big makeup artist. What's the name of Sex Machine?
Oh, he's the one from the Dawn of the Dead franchise, the Dead franchise.
This is gonna bother me because like he's a big name. Like,
yeah.
Sev. This is gonna drive me
No,
crazy.
you're right.
I want to say Sav something.
Severino, something like that. Sabatino, something like that.
This is really gonna bother
Dawn
me.
of the Dead. Yeah, he's the bad guy in Dawn of the Dead too.
Is he?
Yeah, he's
Tom Savini.
Savini. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I still love that, by the way, when he starts going after one of the protagonists and he's just ready for him. Come on, Sex Machine! It's so good.
Yeah, no, Tom Savini's awesome. He's still in stuff.
He's a makeups artist, like an effects artist.
Yeah, he did all the makeup for like the early of the Dead movies.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Tom Savini is like a legend. I don't know if he might have just passed away. He was in the first season of Lock and Key, which is Joe Hill's comic book series, but turned into a TV show. So
no, he still seems to be alive.
Okay, yeah, no, Tom Savini's
74.
Tom Savini's awesome. He's a really cool dude too.
Yeah. From what I've heard, he seems like a cool guy.
Yeah. No, he's done all kinds of stuff. Creepshow, Monkey Shines, wow, all kinds of stuff. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which is a weird movie. That's a weird movie. But yeah, no, good stuff. Dracologist, I wanted to give you the opportunity to mention an action movie or two as well, since you would have different exposure than we did.
Yeah, but the problem is that like it's been so long that I watched anything like cinematographic that I kind of like trying to think back, and like everything you guys mentioned is that the only thing that comes up. The only thing that can come to mind is like nowadays the only thing is the Bud Spencer Tennyson movies, and those are they are action movies, but they are action comedy movies. I don't know those are count.
What are they?
Action comedy movies.
No. Which movies are they?
Bud Spencer and Tennyson.
Oh yeah.
The spaghetti westerns or detective movies or just straight up comedy movies, and they are a fucking joy.
I saw Evens and Odds a little while ago.
That's a really good one.
Yeah, I want to.
I've only seen small clips.
I want to see the Trinity films, or at least the first couple.
Those are there's 2, I think. I recommend My Name Is Nobody which is a Terence Hill solo movie, and the Piadone movies, which I think there are 3, which are Bud Spencer solo movie where he's playing not private eye, like an officer of law, some sort like policeman and investigator.
Yeah, those movies have grown on me. They're kind of like Three Stooges mixed with like mixed with a kung fu film almost.
That's the thing. When it gets to fight scenes, it's legitimately good choreography, but there's also just straight up like with the big guy, it's just like bops on the head.
Yeah,
and
no,
the guy's just out. Like that is
Looney
very
Tunes.
Tunes. He's just whacks
There's
him
definitely
with something.
Looney Tunes stuff going on.
Yeah.
Bud Spencer is a giant. Like he can.
Oh, Spencer's the giant. Okay.
Yeah.
Bud Spencer is the big bear, though, and Terence Hill is the younger one. Terence Hill actually was appeared as one of, like, he's in a series where he plays a churchman. What do you call it?
The priest.
A priest, basically. And there was another comedy movie called I don't remember what. Basically, he's a priest in a communist country.
Oh, okay.
Not country, but town. And he's constantly having he's constantly butting heads with the mayor of the town.
That's pretty cool. Lotus, did you want to mention any other films before we move on to fan stuff? We could always revisit this topic as well. I mean, there's plenty I didn't even touch on.
Well, one thing real quick. You'd mentioned a while back that perhaps the Street Fighter movie could have influenced the X-rays from Mortal Kombat, and I was thinking, speaking of influencing Mortal Kombat, there's the I know you still haven't seen it. Dracologist, maybe you have, I don't know. But there's the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, Bloodsport, which
I've seen parts of it.
I've seen the end
of
that movie.
I'm sorry?
I've seen the end of that movie, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's
where he's
Mortal
like fighting
Kombat.
that giant of a man. Like that huge guy from with the You're Next guy.
You're Next.
Yeah.
Bloodsport is the original Mortal Kombat movie. It's a straight up tournament where people of different fighting styles
dubiously
show up and
based
beat the crap
off
out
of
each
a
other.
true story that isn't
a true story. But Van Damme, like, look at Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
He's wearing the Van Damme outfit, like the black pants with the red belt tied around it. That's Van Damme. But the idea was just to advance in the tournament and be declared the winner of this underground thing. It's just fun to watch. I don't know if I call it a straight up action movie, but it's a Mortal Kombat tournament movie. You're just waiting for all the fights to happen and see different people's different fighting styles. Like, Karate Man fights sumo wrestler. Like, how does one handle the other? Like, sumo wrestler can't hit Karate Man, but Karate Man does not damage sumo wrestler. And sumo wrestler's entire job is to not be budged. So, like, what do you do? So, like, stuff like that's kind of interesting to say.
That kind of is a genre's own entire series of various animes, if you mind.
Oh yeah. Oh, what's also really fun, by the way, is seeing the opening scenes of the movies. All the guys before they've joined the tournament, where they're just training at home. Like, you see this one guy fighting in, like, monkey style who's just, like, karate chopping open coconuts, and you're like, Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. You see Van Damme doing his standard splits training and stuff like that. You see the sumo guy carrying these incredibly heavy sacks of rice, and he tosses one to, like, 3 guys, and it bowls them all over, and he's just like, ha 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 ha, and you're like, oh god. Like, every single one of these guys is the scariest guy in the movie. It's amazing.
Man, I need to check that out. That's like an 80s movie staple. Of course, what made Jean-Claude Van Damme famous, so I gotta watch
that and probably Kickboxer.
Kickboxers. Yeah, that's a similar type of movie, though, I would say.
And one last thing I'll shout out is the Expendables, not 1, because it's actually kind of mediocre, but Expendables 2.
2 is the best one,
Expendables was supposed to be noteworthy because you get all these action stars in one movie, but Expendables 1 was kind of like, yep, we did it, and Expendables 2 is actually, like, a legitimately good movie.
3's not good at all.
They did it.
Yeah, 3's not good at all.
I haven't seen 3.
Yeah.
But 2 is great. 2 is so fun.
Yeah, 3, they toned it...
Jet Li fights fucking Dolph Lundgren, who's still huge.
3 is where they intentionally, like, dumbed it down to make it PG-13 again during that era of, like, we gotta do this, in order to get a bigger audience kind of thing. Now they don't care because you can just stream it and be successful. Yeah. But... yeah.
But 2, oh man, I'm happy I saw 2 in theaters.
Yeah.
That was great.
I saw that one
There's
too.
even a part where they're holding onto some handle, sliding down like a zip line with one hand, and firing a gun with the other hand like it's Contra. I was like, this is great.
All right, well, we can move on to fan stuff. If
Yeah,
there's no
we were able to
further
go on
ado.
for longer than normal today because we don't have a question. So we got more movie discussion in, but we do have some comments.
Good.
So one of them, and tying into what we were talking about this episode, John R. says, being a kid in the 90s, action movies were everywhere. Yeah, you're damn right. I mean, we got the 80s stuff, of course, but there was also spillover into the 90s.
Laser explosions.
Oh my god, yeah. You had Blade, you had Mortal Kombat, like the original Mortal Kombat movie. There was, like, that's 2 movies. I know there's more than 2 movies, but there was all sorts of just cool action stuff that wasn't as brutal as the 80s stuff was. And then Living Corpse has a few comments. One of them is the Fez guy,
Phil Fish.
Phil Fish, helped Analog make their Super NT. I don't believe I knew that. That's kind of cool.
I didn't hear about that at all. Wow.
Yeah.
That's good to hear that he's being useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 2 more comments. One of them, back when I was still in middle school and watching the final...
He designed the boot up animations, apparently.
Okay.
Which makes sense.
And yeah, back when I was still in middle school and watching the final episode of Black Lagoon in the living room, and my mom was yelling at me to turn that nasty crap off because of all the cussing, and I'm like, no, it's the final episode. You know I was watching this show. You know what it's like, and you had no problem talking on the phone in another room, but now in the last episode, you suddenly can't go in another room? Give me a break. Good thing she ran into you in the last episode and not during the episode with, like, the 2 siblings. That episode's fucked up. And then last comment, since you made a shout out to the movie Nobody, I'd like to give a shout out to Dave Made a Maze. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's a wonderfully weird movie where a man named Dave makes
weird
his cardboard fort in his living room, and his wife and friends think he's going off and refusing to leave when he tells them he can't get out. But once they go in after him, they learn it's bigger on the inside. It's a maze, or as one character more accurately points out, a labyrinth.
Oh,
Well,
I do want to see this.
Accurate, that sounds, number one, that sounds amazing.
I do want to see this.
Actually, no pun intended. But number 2,
I heard about this.
If it's more accurate to point out that it's a labyrinth, then just, like, leave it. You know, a labyrinth. Do you know the differences between a labyrinth and a maze?
Yes, a maze has dead ends, and this is split. A labyrinth is a straight but squiggly line.
Bingo. Yeah, there's only one way to go in a labyrinth. It just looks worse than it is. I suppose if it's a maze or it's a labyrinth, you could just hug a wall endlessly. You'll run into dead ends, but you'll eventually get out. But yeah, man, so let that be a lesson to you, kids who want to make forts in their rooms. Don't fucking do it. You'll get trapped forever.
Lotus.
I just want to...
I was going to say, it's on Prime Video. I can watch that, yeah.
Go ahead, Dracologist.
I just wanted to say that I recently listened to an audiobook of H.P. Lovecraft's Maze of Eric's, which is a story about a man who gets trapped in a maze that has invisible walls.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck that. That sucks. now you really gotta hug the walls then. Just lean your hand against it and just hope for the best.
Wow.
Yo, fuck that. That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it's a good
There's
book.
the exit.
It's a good
Why
book.
can't I get to it?
Ugh. All right. Well,
Do you want to increase the nightmare factor of that? You are on the planet Venus and you have limited air and nutrition.
Oh, no. I'll stay in the maze. Leaving the maze is like the worst thing you could do if you're on the planet Venus.
No, the maze is not closed. It's not it doesn't have a air-filled area.
Oh, well, I guess this is the 1940s. It makes me think of like Ray Bradbury. Look at all the weird plants and the endless rain on the planet Venus. And it's like, no.
there are no plants
You
anywhere.
would probably get incinerated.
It's a different planet. Who knows what the life is like there? Oh, I do. There is no life. It's like if hell were real, it would be Venus.
No, it would be Mercury, but Venus is a close.
No, Venus is hotter and acidic. Venus is a fucking nightmare and a half. Because Venus has all those clouds, so it traps heat in, so Venus is actually hotter than Mercury on the hot part.
Interesting.
Venus sucks. Venus is fucking atrocious. Like that like it makes me think of in the Chronicles of Riddick when they're on crematoria and one of the bounty hunters is just muttering to himself like, oh no, it was one of his coworkers or whatever, like, man, if I owned this place in hell, I think I would rent this place out and live in hell. It's like that's Venus.
This kind
Venus
of reminds me
fucking sucks.
the end of what was the end of the this is hyper area in the anime when like they on a planet who's like in a massive desert that's made from like the desert the same sand grains are like incredibly polarized in crystals, and as soon as the
jeez.
sun gets up, the whole place turns into a furnace.
Oh, fuck that. But yeah, Venus is hotter than Mercury, has like sulfuric. What was it?
Fumes.
What was? Yeah, was it
Fumes.
sulfuric? Was it sulfuric acid rain? It was like something like comical, like a kid would make up, except that it's real.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
there are interesting planets, by the way. Like when you have like something like planet where iron falls like rain, molten
Yeah.
iron falls like
And,
rain,
and don't get me wrong, Venus is interesting. It's just a piece of shit.
It's
or
just a hell
Saturn
dimension.
Yeah.
like Saturn where the winds blow with Mach 1 speed.
Yeah, that's ludicrous.
Ludicrous speed, go.
Yeah.
My brains are moving
Are going
into my feet. Love it.
All right. Anything else on the questions? Replies?
Did I just read? No, nope. That's it. Living Corpse and John R. got us our comments, and we do not have a question this week. So if anybody does have any questions that they were thinking about, please let us know for future episodes.
Yeah, please drop us one.
I have a question.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Why? Because.
Yeah. Well,
Why
I'll
not?
be a little kid. Yeah. Because why not? That's the easy one.
How? That's how.
How not? Wait. Fuck.
It's sometimes why.
Uh,
All right. Well,
we have
Yeah. We're set. We're set.
yeah. That is the episode for this week. We want to thank all of our fans who contributed comments, not questions. Please, you really let us down, guys. Please keep us supplied with awesome topics by submitting questions of your own via the YouTube and SoundCloud pages. While there, please give us thumbs ups, likes, and 5-star ratings on iTunes. Helps promote and spread awareness of the show, and any bit of encouragement helps keep the show going. You can also catch us on Tuesdays for our sister podcast, Corrective Consciousness, where hopefully more will happen this week. Finally, you can friend me as vysethebold on pretty much everything.
And you could follow me on my YouTube channel, Lotus Prince. You can hit me up on Twitter at Lotus Prince. And finally, if you are interested in seeing my videos early, getting toward the end of Dark Souls 3, getting in on exclusive live streams, I've recently started the first Nightmare Creatures, which I got a weirdly large amount of comments on that video. Like, I've been uploading videos for years, but Nightmare Creatures, that's the one. That's the one that everyone's like, oh, you're playing that game? All right.
I wanted to play that game, but when I get my hands on it, it was unplayable because it was too fast.
Yeah,
Like
you are
the-
slippery in that game.
And not that,
I
but,
like the idea of
if-
always run, but like, woof.
What
the
version are you
problem with
playing?
it, it's not,
Well, hold on. Go ahead, Dracologist.
just wanted to say that it's because like there is some sort of like vsync or processing issue, clock processing issue that makes like as fast as as fast as your computer is as fast as the game, which is makes a
one of
super fast
those.
processor.
Yeah, it's like unplayable. But I'm playing on PS1.
Okay, I'm never sure which version to play because there's also an N64 version that's...
Yeah, 64. But yeah, a bunch of people were like, "Yo, I played the demo disc and never got far." Like, how did everybody play Nightmare Creatures? I don't fucking know. But anyway, if you're interested in getting in exclusive live streams, selecting upcoming games for me to Let's Play, or getting in conversations with me and other patrons on Discord, then perhaps consider swinging by my Patreon account, which can be found at patreon.com/lotusprince.
And you can find me on Skype, Discord, and on Steam under the name Dracologist, and on Twitch under /Dracologist.
All right, well, here's to the next 250 episodes, where Lotus will be permanently banned from attending.
From talking about 250's relationship to a number that is less than it.
Yeah, he tried to lie to you folks and tell you what Roman numerals were, and they were not Roman numerals. So don't listen to his lies.
They weren't even Arabic numerals.
Nope. They weren't numerals at all. They were just letters.
Except for the C, which is 100.
All right, everybody. We will catch everybody on Tuesday then.
Until next time, everyone.
Good evening.